Hey guys, and welcome back to NTom and Volk's Spot of PC. Today we're going to be covering the first platformer of the year. This is Mekazoo by Good Mood Creators. A fancy little 2D game with 3D worlds that's all about, like, robotic animals, question marks, with varying different abilities. It's like Sonic meets...
Donkey Kong Country?
that, and also other Sonic OCs. And I first got introduced to this game through watching, funnily enough, another quick look from the two best friends, or super best friends, the Zaibatsu, if you prefer, and I kind of fell in love with the game. Like most stuff on Spot PT, I didn't get a chance to play it myself, so all gameplay analysis will come from Volk. I can only tell you what I like through the power of eyesight, and what I see is I likes.
Yes, it's very much Mekazoo as the Lion King. I was singing a banana, penguin, and a dada as I was going through, going fast with the armadillo. This just makes me want Mighty again. Like, I'm sorry to say, this does make me want Mighty.
Well, maybe back in the days of STC and, you know, Knuckles Chaotix, but do we really need Red Sonic these days when Blue Sonic, or Blue Knuckles if you prefer, can do everything Red Sonic can and better?
Is it any different to what we see on DeviantArt, in all honesty?
So what can we expect to see from Mekazoo, mate? It's a shorter, quick look than, you know, stuff will be showing off later in the year. But I feel for like a 2D platformer, it's best to keep it like short and sweet. So besides Armadillo here, what other animals can we expect to see?
Well, we will see the frog and the kangaroo in good detail, but it's also worth mentioning there's also a panda and a pelican to choose from here. So they give you a good 5 animals to choose from in this game, and they all have different abilities and quirks. So for example, the armadillo has the spin dash, as you can probably tell, but then the frog will be able to use his tongue to assist in dispatching enemies and doing various bits of platforming, and the kangaroo obviously jumps high, to give a few examples. You'll have to use all of these various transformations as you collect and switch between them to solve the various platforming puzzles as you go through this strange mechanical world.
Now, Volk, you told me you had been practicing in regards to your platforming skills. Can I expect to see some proficiency in this run? Because I noticed you're having a bit of trouble with the loop-de-loop here.
Yeah, there was a couple of bits in there that I did leave in there deliberately because it kind of helps me to express that the game isn't the simplest in terms of controls and how it works. Like, it's similar to Donkey Kong Country, it kind of has its own physics that you just kind of have to try and make sense of as you play through the game and kind of get the hang of how the game works. So it takes a little bit to kind of get used to, but I would say yes, my platforming skills have definitely improved, and I have made a point to try and make sure of that after the debacle that was, what was it? Trine. So yeah, this is our first boss, and the boss fights are typically how you unlock your new transformations. So in this case, the frog will occasionally jump down onto our little half-pipe thing as it is, and you have to drop the bombs on his back, and a good few round of those will dispatch him. As well as that, he'll also spawn these little flies, so you've got to also take care of those beforehand, and you've also got to dodge the tongue. So it's a very basic first boss, but then again, this whole thing is like a tutorial level of sorts.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It kind of gives you time just to prat around, get used to how the world of Mekazoo works, and sort of like give a basic idea of what to expect.
I just love the neon aesthetic of the whole thing. It looks just visually appealing.
I do quite like cyberpunk kind of environments and things like that, and whilst this isn't, like, strictly speaking cyberpunk, it does kind of give me those vibes of, like, all this strange mechanical things, like, not much signs of organic life as of yet, and it's all very compelling. And as you go through Mekazoo, you kind of go through all these different environments, and they kind of mix the real wildlife with the mechanical, and it creates some very, very interesting set pieces.
It says here on the Mekazoo PAX wiki, because there isn't a Wikipedia page of its own, explore a variety of lush environments inside and out, and discover the secrets of the mechanosphere.
Sounds about right.
Mysterious.
Very mysterious. They don't really give much away. So now we have the frog transformation, so as well as being able to just bounce around quite happily, you also have the ability to use your tongue to traverse these swingy things.
Oh my god, it's the werehog!
Yeah, I guess it is. When you're actually the armadillo, these things would be like those launch pads. So depending on what animal you're currently transformed into, those platforms will actually change.
Okay.
The same platforms may allow you to get to different places depending on which mechanical, adorable creature you are. The frog itself is also particularly adorable. He's probably my favourite.
Oh, okay, I was actually going to ask who your favourite mecha animal is to play as. Where would you rank the armadillo?
I put the armadillo at probably about the mid-range. He can be a bit awkward to use, but he's pretty damn fun once you actually get to using him and using him right. He has like a certain appeal to him. The pelican's pretty interesting as well. He's just your typical, hey, I can fly over things kind of dude. And the panda's obviously your big brawly type thing, so yeah, that's always quite fun. But the frog's my favourite just because I like the swingy style of platforming. It's not really something you get to see very often. So this is just me kind of practicing with it, seeing what's what. Also kind of seeing what was up there, but I can't quite reach there yet. So I'm not going to get to see what's over there just yet.
Okay, the Electric Arbitorium.
This is your first world, so I'll be showing off a level from this world and also the boss area, as it were.
Okay.
And now we finally get the title screen.
Oh, I was wondering what the game was called up until now.
How about that? For 6 minutes we just did not know what we were covering.
Also, it's Electric Arboretum, not Arbitorium. Jesus Christ, Tom, you used to live near an Arboretum, you should know this.
I'm not actually familiar with what an Arboretum is. Is it just like a garden place or like a wildlife preserve or something?
Well, that's why we have Google, mate. Arboretum. Definition. A botanical garden devoted to trees. Yep, checks out.
Yep, there we go. There's plenty of trees here.
Oh, listen to that funky beat.
Oh yeah, the one thing I do like about this game, and I was waiting until this particular level started to mention it, the music is very, very funky. It's like, not quite jazz, but you know, it's like, it's that very beaty, I guess, rock and roll, I guess? I'm not entirely sure the best way to describe it, but it's funky. I'll give it that.
You could call it electro jazz, really. It's kind of like a fusion.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go with that. That sounds very sensible.
A lot of choice in these levels. Like, you can use the frog, you can use the armadillo. Well, you have two choices at this point. I'm kind of like backhanding my original point here, but hopefully you get what I mean.
Yeah, the transformations themselves, you kind of unlock partway through the levels. Like, you go past them, you sort of get transformed into one of the other creatures, and then you can switch freely between them. So this one is pretty much just like the frog's day out, so to speak. I just can't get over this music, it's so good.
I know, mate, I know. But we're not here just to specifically talk about the music. Tell me a little bit about the co-op mode, because that's what I watched the two best friends struggle with, for lack of a better word. It was kind of funny, because they had to like manually switch the characters between them, and that got pretty hectic in the later levels, let me tell you.
It's pretty much as hectic as it looked. I mean, I can't comment that much, because I didn't get the chance to play through it in great detail, but I dabbled with it a little bit, and yeah, it's about as hectic as you can get. And yeah, this is why I'm trying to figure out the tongue. It's a little bit strange because it gives you the impression that it works by direction, but sometimes it doesn't. And I was trying to work that out in my head, like, wait, how do I tongue?
How do I tongue? The question of our generation.
Absolutely. One thing I can also mention is the blue orbs are your standard collectathon kind of grabby thing,
Nice.
but they also help you in terms of getting great scores at the end of the game. So if you pick up enough of them, you'll get a nice shiny medal, and you're also ranked based on time taken to complete the level, as well as how many of a specific type of enemy you're able to kill. So there's a lot of factors to actually getting a quote-unquote perfect run, to the point where it's actually very, very hard to do without really practicing a level.
Well, you know, that's classic, you know, platformer there, you know. What's the word I'm looking for here? Trial and error, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. And it does give you a lot to do, is the thing.
Aww.
I know. One thing I do like about the Mekazoo animals is that they definitely have the charm factor down pat. Apparently completing that level in 1 minute 30 seconds is the quote-unquote par time, but I was kind of just exploring around, picking up whatever I could.
Also, you get, like, different medals and whatnot, there's, like, fine gems as well.
Yeah, plenty to do, so there's a lot of replay value in this game in terms of just going through the level quickly. I don't think you have to do all of them at once. You can go through them one at a time as far as I'm aware. So you can go like the speedrun route, you can go the collectathon route. There's plenty for you to do and lots of reasons to come back to levels to replay them.
Oh, it's the wall jumper itself, the kangaroo, mate!
Oh yeah. I actually do quite like the kangaroo. He's probably my second favourite. I don't know what it is. It's something about the jumping that's very, very satisfying. And we'll get to that in a moment when we actually get to playing the kangaroo. So now we've got to use the combination of the frog and the armadillo to overcome this new threat.
Nice.
So I'm kind of using the frogs to dispatch the enemy since he has a way easier time in taking him down. Just one lick of the tongue and that's pretty much all you need. And the armadillo is giving me all the sorely needed mobility that the frog lacks. So I'm just using that to roll around at the speed of sound.
Damn, man, this kangaroo don't care if you destroy the level or not.
Oh no, this guy is very much into his heroic vandalism. So we gotta drop the bombs on him in order to actually do damage to him, which can be very difficult because the stage actually gets higher at points, so you gotta really, really get your armadillo on and smack him in just the right place, just like that.
Oh, there's a little bit of whoop in the soundtrack now, I love it.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack has a great mix of genres, and it keeps a good overall like theme with like the kind of techno beats and the electronica, I guess. But it introduces loads of different genres, like you have the jazzy stuff, you have the dubstep kind of things, and also just your melodic, I guess, as well. So there's plenty of music there to enjoy, and yeah, that was a dick move on the kangaroo's part. Literally spawned a death pit right underneath me and I was not expecting it.
Oh man, it's like being Lost World all over again.
So here we go, take two. And this time around I know exactly what's coming, so hopefully I'll avoid the sudden death pit. I mean, I can't like claim to be able to do all these things first time, and I can't like being able to show like where I die just so you can see like where the challenge actually is and how I react on the fly. I like to be able to demonstrate that.
I like to leave those for like live playthroughs and whatnot. And speaking of, Volk and I have a live playthrough coming soon at the time this goes live on YouTube. I'm not going to say what it is just yet, but I think you guys will enjoy it.
Expect a lot of references, is all I'm going to say.
Indeed, indeed.
Oh, it's going to be fun. I'm sure you'll love it. But yeah, Mekazoo, in general, I love the music, I love the visual charm. The platforming itself, it took a bit of getting used to, but I wouldn't say it's bad at all. It's just one of those things, much like in the same way that Donkey Kong Country kind of needs. Yeah, that is also a dick move. I'm sorry, but... What? That's not fair in the slightest.
Well, what happened? I blinked, I missed it.
Yeah, he kind of just bounced on me and pretty much took me out instantly. I think you do actually have health in this game, it's just that the kangaroo doesn't really care for it.
No, he just smashes through your life reckless abandon.
But yeah, the actual orbs do actually give you health as you collect them as well. So if you took a bit of a licking from like the flies and such, you can use those to regenerate your health. Or if you're a bit like me, it's just, ooh, shiny, pick it up. Here we go. Alright, this time I'm ready for him.
Oh yeah. Oh, you got him. You got him, I think.
Not quite. Hey, have it!
And now I will take your power. Well, in the next turn I shall take your power. Or now, in this very cutscene.
So here we go. We now have the abilities of the kangaroo, who can bounce high, and it's pretty good in terms of actual combat if you can get used to it. Like, jumping on enemies is a little bit on the tricky side, because he kind of builds momentum. And sometimes getting the hang of that momentum initially can be a bit tricky. And he can also wall jump, which is what the standard platform, I guess, which is specialized towards whatever animal you have, turns into. Aw.
He's adorable, yeah.
It almost makes me forget how much I hated him whilst I was recording that boss sequence. But yeah, this game has a lot of charm and is a lot of fun. It's not by any means cheap right now. I think it's like 15 quid or something like that, but it has appeared on Steam Sales Pass, and you could probably pick it up for 7 or 8 quid if you're savvy and frugal enough, I suppose.
Ooh, a nice level. This shit's my jam, mate. This shit is my jam.
And it has the kind of almost standard ice theme music that you would expect.
Oh yeah, nice and chill.
Of course, in Mekazoo style, it has its own spin on it. So here you go. Pretty much the kangaroo never ever stops bouncing. And you can use your momentum from like spring pads and things like that, and just from jumping at great heights to be able to destroy barriers. So over here, if I jump all the way to the top, I could have gone straight down and then smashed into that.
Nice.
It's all about finding high places in which to go onto and smashing all of the things up in this joint. And that's pretty much how the kangaroo do. It's very satisfying.
I can see, man. I can see. I do love a bit of wall jumping, especially in like Metroid, and especially like the more modern 2D Marios. I guess while we're on the subject of other platformers, what are some 2D platformers in the past that tickled your fancy, mate? Obviously, there's stuff like Super Meat Boy and whatnot, but anything in particular? It doesn't have to just be on PC. Just to make things easier on you, we can go with console as well.
Oh, there is one that I'm sure you know, because I haven't been able to stop talking about it since it was officially announced, and that is Wonder Boy 3: The Dragon's Trap, and they announced a remake for it some months back, and I've been being teased by some of like the music and like the redesigned characters and things like that, and I absolutely adored that game when it first came out. It's widely regarded as the best game on the Master System, but just in general, as far as platforming goes, you'll find very little that kind of matches the charm that Wonder Boy 3 had. So good, and I cannot wait for the remake to come out.
A possible playthrough, maybe?
Well, if I have anything to say about it, yes, even if I have to drag you kicking and screaming. Although, I have shown you some, and I believe I won't have to convince you that much. I think you're pretty much on board already.
I was like, damn, son, look at them graphics.
Oh yes, it's gonna be great. But as far as other platforms go, there's obviously your Sonic, your Alex the Kid, and then you got your 3D platformers as well. But in terms of 2D, I got my Sonics, I got my Wonder Boy, I got my Alex Kids. That's pretty much what I went with for the most part. And you can't really count, like, Castlevanias as platformers, I guess. I don't know. It has platforming elements, certainly, but it's not like a true platformer, I would say. So I guess I've dabbled in a lot of games that have elements of platformers, but in terms of pure blood platformers go, I didn't really have all that much.
Fair enough, mate, fair enough.
That was kind of more my Master System Mega Drive era kind of thing, and as I moved on to the PS1 era and such, it was mostly RPGs and racing games, and fighting games, obviously.
Man, there's nothing like seeing a good wall jump, like, pulled off fluidly and consecutively, you know?
Oh yeah. Like, the wall jumping in this game is very satisfying when you can actually get it right. And I wasn't expecting the armadillo transformation here, so I was like, wait, what? What the hell's going on?
Just straight into a buzzsaw.
You have to be a little quick on your feet here. No pun intended with the obvious playing of the kangaroo here, but you do get transformed on the fly as well, and you got to kind of think, oh, I'm the armadillo now. Suddenly the game's kind of changed a bit, and you have to react to it. But then once you go through that, you can transform freely between them as you wish. So once you have the armadillo transformation there for the level, you can either go with it the entire rest of the way, or stick with the kangaroo if you so desire.
I really want to play this at this point. Is there any chance I can have a bit of a sneak into your account and have a little playsy poo?
Oh, I don't know about that, but I mean, there's like birthdays and such coming up, I can always grab it for you then. I believe this is also on the PS4, although I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure this is also on at least one or two consoles, so, I mean, you're not necessarily limited. I do recall you actually having a PS4 now.
Well, yeah, that is true. I haven't had a chance to sit down and play any of my games, and I've got, like, Final Fantasy 15 hasn't been played yet, I can tell you that much. I got up to, like, level 3 in Doom and then put it down. I'm going back to it, don't worry, you didn't get me that for nothing. And, you know, World of Final Fantasy and Last Guardian. Like, damn, man, I'm spoiled for choices.
Yeah, March in particular and February have been a really, really great month for games. I've got like 4 games that aren't even out of their shrink wrap yet that I have to get through. And that is not limited to things like Neo, Digimon World Next Order. And of course I'm playing through Tales of Berseria right now as of recording this as well, so that's even more game. And then you got Horizon coming out at the beginning of March, Nier Automata coming out towards the middle, and then Persona 5 at the beginning of April. It's just too much game to handle, man!
Wait, wasn't this a series of, like, quick looks on PC games and we're giving all this about consoles now?
Well, we're getting hype. Plus, good news, it is on the PS4 as well, so you don't have to miss out at all.
There you go.
So there we go. As far as final thoughts on this game goes, the physics will take a bit of getting used to, but if you are patient enough, or you're just that good at Donkey Kong Country that you're just used to that sort of thing by now, there is a great game here for you to enjoy. It's got plenty of charm, plenty of things to do. All the animals have their own unique and clever mechanics that gel well either together or they synchronize with one another as you're going through the levels. So you may have to do like kangaroo wall jumping into a transform into a frog. There's a lot there for you to... Yeah, just like that. Slick as you like.
It just looks fun, honestly. I don't know, maybe it's because I grew up in the era of mascot platformers, but I don't know, it just seems really appealing. And you know, Yooka-Laylee is coming out soon, but if you want something to tickle your animal platformer, like, fancy until then, you know, you couldn't go wrong with Mekazoo, in my opinion.
Not in the least. And there we go. Just gonna give you one last look at the adorable frog here before we sign off.
Aww.
Just give us a good 10 seconds for that to sink in.
Me staring into my soul, Volk, I can't stand it.
He's like, hey, what you doing?
Oh yeah, it's the end of a part, alright? Okay guys, thank you for watching this installment of NTom and Volk's Spot of PC, and come back next time, because oh yes, we have a third episode for you this month, and it's been one you guys have been asking for quite a bit, so we'll see you then. Bye bye.